Hey everyone, let's jump right in. If you're building modern software, Docker is almost certainly already in your toolkit. But honestly, even for experienced developers, the line between Docker images and Docker containers can get kind of blurry, which leads to some serious architectural headaches down the line. So in today's explainer, we are completely demystifying that exact boundary. We're going to start with some grounded analogies to get the concepts down, and we'll wrap up with a live NGINX web server demo to prove it all in practice.
So what is the actual functional difference here? People toss these words around interchangeably in stand-ups and code reviews all the time. But whether you're just setting up a local dev environment or you're gearing up to tackle Kubernetes, clearing up this specific point of confusion is a non-negotiable first step. Structurally and functionally, they are entirely different beasts, and to truly harness the power of containerization, we need to draw a hard line between the two. Okay, let's start with the image. At its core, a Docker image is a read-only static template. And you know, that phrase right there, read-only, that is absolutely the secret sauce. An image is not a running process. It's completely static. Think of it as an immutable, locked-in snapshot. You don't execute an image directly like you would a normal application. Instead, it serves as the flawless, unchangeable starting point from which your active applications are eventually born. So what exactly is packed inside this static snapshot? Well, pretty much everything. It bundles your actual application code, the specific dependencies that code relies on, all the environment configurations, and the required system libraries. It takes all of those fragile, moving parts and just locks them into one neat, static vault. Which means we can finally retire the greatest lie in software development. Well, it works on my machine. The entire environment is locked immutably right there inside the image. Think of it kind of like an architect's blueprint. The blueprint has all the precise measurements, the layout, the exact instructions for building a house. But, you can't live in a blueprint, right? The container is the physical house built from those exact specs. It's what you get when you actually take the blueprint and implement it, physically building the structure you can walk into.
Or here's another way to look at it. Think of a restaurant's recipe. The predefined recipe, the exact list of ingredients and the baking temperature, that's your Docker image. It's a static set of instructions. But just staring at a recipe isn't going to fix your hunger. That freshly baked pizza sitting right there on your table, that tangible thing you can actually eat, that is your dynamic Docker container. And that brings us to the formal definition of a container. A Docker container is the dynamic, running environment where an image is actually executed. It's the living, breathing box that takes our static template, our blueprint, our recipe, and brings it to life. It provides the active environment, the CPU, the memory, where the application code we bundled into our image actually runs and does its job. If we put them head to head, the contrast is immediately clear. The image lives in a registry like Docker Hub as a completely static template. Conceptually, it's our recipe. The container, on the other hand, runs locally on your machine or server. It represents dynamic execution. It is the actual baked pizza. Locking this separation in your mind ensures you'll literally never confuse the two again when you're designing your architecture. All right, theory is great, analogies are fun, but we're focused learners, and we need to see things in action. How does this look in practice? It's time to pivot from our conceptual blueprints straight into the terminal. We're going to use Docker Desktop to see exactly how an image is pulled and how it transforms into a living container right before our eyes. We're going to use NGINX for our live demo today, which is a super popular open-source web server. And we have a simple three-step game plan. Make sure Docker Desktop is signed in and running, reach out to the internet to pull down the static NGINX image, and then, the magic moment, execute that image to create our active container. Let's do this. Our first command is beautifully simple, docker pull nginx. When you type this into your command line and hit enter, you are telling the Docker engine to go out to the Docker Hub registry and fetch the latest static image for the NGINX web server. It downloads the code, the config, the libraries we talked about earlier, pulling all those immutable layers directly down to your local machine. Now watch out for this because it's a critical detail that trips people up. The download completes successfully, an image ID gets generated, and boom, you can see the NGINX image sitting right there in your Docker Desktop list. But check out your Containers tab. It is still completely empty. Why? Well, because we only downloaded the recipe. We haven't baked the pizza yet. The image is just resting on our hard drive, totally static and unused, waiting for instructions. And here are those exact instructions.
This is the crucial execution command that finally bridges the gap. Docker run -p8080-80 NGINX. By issuing this one single line of text, we're telling Docker to take that static NGINX image we just downloaded and sprint it up into a living, breathing container.
Let's dissect what just happened here really quick, because understanding these flags is where the real power lies. The word run is what tells Docker to execute. The -p8080:80 part, that is absolutely vital. It stands for port binding. See, NGINX naturally runs on port 80 inside its isolated container. By using this command, we're mapping port 8080 on our local host machine to port 80 inside the container, which gives us a doorway to actually talk to it. Oh, and as a quick aside, if we wanted this to run quietly in the background without tying up our terminal, we could just throw in the -d flag for detached mode. Once that command executes, it is payoff time. If you open up any web browser on your computer and navigate to localhost 8080 using that exact port we just bound, you are going to be greeted by a success screen. Welcome to NGINX. This simple HTML page is absolute, literal proof that our static image has been successfully transformed into an actively running container. Our web server is alive, it's isolated, and it's serving up web pages locally.
So there you have it. We've successfully navigated from a conceptual blueprint all the way to a running web server. The image is your static recipe, the container is your dynamic application. You've got the recipe, and now you know exactly how to bake it. So whether you're working with a Node.js application, a Python Flask API, or a custom microservice, what are you going to build with your next container?